My name is Donald Boudreau. I am an internist and a lung specialist. I am also a clinical teacher and a researcher in medical education at the Faculty of Medicine of McGill University.
Hi, I'm Margot Somerville. I'm a professor in the Faculty of Law and the Faculty of Medicine at McGill University. I'm also the founding director of the university's Centre for Medicine, Ethics and Law, and I work largely as an ethicist. Don and I believe the euthanasia and physician-assisted suicide debate is the most important values debate of the 21st century. What we decide in this regard will determine the kind of world we leave to future generations and whether that's a world in which reasonable people would want to live.
Surveys show, and our experiences confirm, that there is a great deal of confusion regarding what is and is not euthanasia, even among physicians. Sometimes this confusion is intentionally generated in order to promote legalizing euthanasia. It is particularly important that healthcare professionals be well informed. It is with this goal in mind that we have written our manuscript. It is intended to impart basic information and to review foundational principles helpful in ethical decision-making in relation to the end of life.
We start by defining euthanasia, assisted suicide, terminal sedation, and palliative sedation. We then discuss whether there is a right to die, the value of respect for human life, the concept of individual autonomy, including in relation to perspectives from the individual's family. We believe in transparency with respect to one's underlying philosophical beliefs and assumptions, especially in discussing values issues on which there is no consensus, such as euthanasia. Our position is grounded in a principle-based approach to ethics. We believe that it's inherently wrong for one person to intentionally kill another.
It is morally reprehensible, in particular for physicians, to inflict death.
We discuss the standard arguments advanced by both proponents and opponents of euthanasia, including through references to recent legal developments, especially in Canada. We also present the language strategies, rhetorical devices, euphemisms, and other obfuscations used by proponents of euthanasia to make their option acceptable to more people. The main justification of euthanasia used by its supporters is respect for an individual's autonomy. Countervailing arguments are founded on respect for the life of each person and for human life in general at the societal level.
An absolute barrier to physicians becoming involved with acts that intentionally inflict death is that doing so would be incompatible with their healer role. The phenomenon of healing is distinct from curing and is a critically important aspect of the medical mandate. Healing is defined as a relational process involving movement towards an experience of integrity and wholeness. This process can occur even as death approaches. It must not be eroded or shunted aside in medical encounters. In a sense, one can die healed. As an alternative to euthanasia and assisted suicide, we advocate and support access to competent and compassionate palliative care, especially fully adequate pain management. Newly formulated strategies aimed at dignity-preserving care are also important.
The consequences of legalizing euthanasia are also unacceptable. Slippery slopes cannot be avoided, as is well documented by the situations in Belgium and the Netherlands. There are practical slippery slopes, the abuse of euthanasia by using it outside the law or on vulnerable persons, and logical slippery slopes, widening the justifications for euthanasia, thus extending it to new situations For example, euthanizing children or patients with dementia. In contemporary Western secular societies, as religion has lost its role as a societal values carrier, including of the value of respect for life, this role has fallen to the institutions of law and medicine. Legalizing euthanasia would require the law to allow it and medicine to implement it in practice. That is totally incompatible with their value-carrying role, which ensures the protection of some of the weakest and most vulnerable members of our society, those who are dying.